Hello, and welcome to the Unstuck Club. How are you, Di?
Well, I do feel like my soul is slowly returning to my body after this week. Oh my word, what a week for me.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's dive
I
in. What's
just
been happening? What's happening?
so last Thursday, the public holiday, my laptop, it had given problems a week before, and I'd taken it in and they had sorted it. And it worked for a week perfectly, and then sat down to do a day's work, and same error, blue screen, black screen. Took it in Friday morning. They managed to get it sorted by Tuesday, so I was without a laptop for 4 days. Fetched it on Tuesday. Joe, we stood there in the office. They showed me everything running, screen, password, menus, everything. Got it home 25 minutes later, plugged it in, and same thing, blue screen, Windows upload didn't work properly, restart, then black screen. And I was like, I felt sick because now I haven't been able to do, and it's month end. So I sent them a picture. They came and fetched it and said it could be something called the CPU. If it is that, it's not repairable. Now, my data is backed up to the cloud, so it's not like I don't have it, but I haven't been able to do any work. I'm trying to manage emails on my phone. Anyway, they were amazing. IT Vision in Nelspruit, they are my superheroes. They have loaned me a laptop and they transferred all my data. So everything is here, and I could start yesterday. But that sense of panic. You don't realize, Joe, how much we rely on our devices. I was thinking the other day, if somebody said to me, like, what's Jodene's number?
Yeah.
If I don't have my phone to get your number, I would have no clue what your phone number is. And I felt on Tuesday when I got the laptop back and it wasn't working, I know this is going to sound dramatic, but I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. I was just all over the place, and I thought, I can't do this. There's nothing I can do to change this current situation.
Yeah.
I figured out on my phone, because, I run the vetiver grass business here. I figured out how to do invoices. I was hunting for passwords for emails because, of course, they just download to your laptop. If you go onto the internet, you need a password.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm fairly good with that, and I have a book of passwords. So for most of the accounts, I was able to access them. So I was able to draw up invoices on my phone and WhatsApp them and email them from iCloud. But it's on your phone, so it's a lot harder. And I could feel myself spiraling. And and then you go into if the laptop is broken, now I've got to get a new laptop. I don't have the money for that. And your mind goes all over the place. And I was like, whoa, okay. I can't change this. And funnily enough, I then started to just be still. I thought, you don't have a laptop, so you actually have quite a lot of free time. Because everything, every document, you don't keep a hard copy of any document. You have this time, and I'd wanted to. So I'm part of a beta testing group on a 3-month program called Starting Over, and our theme for this week is allowing.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I wanted to spend more time being still, because I'm not talking about meditating or praying or scrolling on your phone, just sitting. And I thought, okay, this is a good time to do this. So I would sit in the lounge for like 15 minutes and just look at the view and just be with my thoughts. And I found myself stopping that spiraling into panic. And I thought, it'll be okay. And then they messaged me to say, look, we've got a spare laptop. We've been able to transfer all of your stuff. So it's like I've got my laptop back. All my emails are there. Everything is there. And then, of course, I could relax a little bit. But
Yeah.
I really had to work at getting unstuck from creating unnecessary panic for myself, which I had, and I had no control over the situation, to the point that I wouldn't, if I spoke to someone about it, I would just be, oh, I've got issues with my laptop. Sorry, don't have my laptop at the moment. Instead of going, oh, I'm so stressed. I don't know what I'm going to do. And it's such a disaster. I didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
So I think it was a good lesson, because we always talk about staying present.
Yep.
And it really forced me to be present and go, okay, so I've been making myself cups of tea and just sitting and enjoying a cup of tea instead of going, oh, need to go check emails or need to do this, need to do that. So it did throw me hugely. I'm not
Sure.
going to lie on Tuesday. I mean, I know, when I messaged you, I mean, I was tearful. I was like, they've had it for 4 days. I switch it on and nothing's been resolved.
Yeah.
But as time went on, it was really just an opportunity to also look at how, I don't want to use the word trapped, but how reliant we are on technology for basic day-to-day things.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting week, but I'm good now. I'm catching
Good.
up and getting things done and everything. But it was a lesson on like having all those important information in one place. And if it does, like now I know exactly how to access all the email accounts on the internet. So yeah, but
It is a lot. I mean, it's a lot, and I did when you
mm,
left a message because we've been trying to record this.
yeah,
You know,
yes,
this is, we are off schedule.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, and it is such a big thing, and we do rely on technology, and so we should because we're in the age of technology, and so we
mm,
should.
yeah, yeah,
Um, for me, it's a bigger thing of people around you understanding, and the support from your IT team is just
yeah,
absolutely incredible. I mean,
yeah. It
that's the
has
stuff
been.
that I
Yeah,
want to lean into, and the fact that you do
yeah,
have the passwords. When I travel, I write. I've got like a little piece of paper like this, and
mm,
one is tucked into the back of my passport, and another one is tucked into my
yeah,
suitcase, just in case if the phone goes, I'm in big trouble because I don't have those numbers. I can't
yeah.
pull those numbers out of my head. And we need these backup plans. So I'm really happy that you did that for yourself, but also just to like have a look at how you've created a beautiful community around yourself. I don't
Mm.
think they're going to show up for just everyone like the way they showed up for you.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's true. And it's,
Yeah.
as you said that about thinking about the phone numbers, I mean, in the good old days, I mean, anyone younger, the younger generations are not going to know what we're talking about. But, when we had landlines, you would memorize your friends' numbers, you knew them. It's like we've lost that capacity for memory,
Yeah.
actually, because we don't have to remember it
Yeah. I was
because
just going to say,
everything.
do we need it? I I haven't done enough research. A big part of what you and I do, we can't overlook the brain, right? And so many
Yeah,
people talk about the mind, but you and I have done some. We're like in our own way, not trying to become neuroscientists or anything like that, but we
mhm,
are working at understanding how does the brain work. When you talk about
yeah,
the mind is sitting in the space of the brain, and how has the mind changed over time to adapt to, you know, this
mm,
age of technology and the fact that everything is on the phones and, I mean, such a big thing for me. And every single day I play mind remembering games.
oh yeah.
I've I've got like 4. They are on my phone because it's the world that we live in. They are on my
Mm,
phone, but like there's a part of me that knows I've got to keep my brain active and I've got to keep my brain like going. It's a muscle at the end of the day. It's got
yeah,
to be worked.
it
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 has to be worked.
absolutely is. Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not. I'm not someone who doesn't absolutely appreciate downtime. So I love my absolute mindless television or my time of scrolling. I'm not saying that we have to be
Mm.
so vigilant that we can't do a little bit of total mindless stuff. But we've also got to keep our brains busy. And actually, an important way to keep our brains busy is doing exactly what you're doing, like stare out the window.
Yeah, it has been a thing for me because, and I think also living on my own, because I don't, like I don't have a family that I need to make time. I don't have children to make time for, or a partner. So it's very easy to get sucked into, again, oh, I'll just finish this, or I'll just go sit at my desk a bit and do something. And then you find you've had an entire day of working. And you write about the brain. I mean, a friend of mine who does brain profiling said, like, puzzles, like, you need to do those. It's not just wasting time.
Yeah.
He also said the brain is a muscle, it needs to be exercised. I mean, it's why, I mean, my mum was a great she loved crosswords, and she was also really good with numbers. Like, she could add up a column of numbers without a calculator, but she was constantly exercising her mind. So yeah, it does have its place. And also, with being on social media, again, living on my own, it's a way of connecting. And also, there's people doing really interesting things on reels and videos. Some of them are a complete, they're just
Yeah.
rubbish, but there's a lot of interesting stuff out there. So it is to make sure that it's balanced, but just getting, it's like getting back into connection with the rhythm of life
Yeah.
and the rhythm of nature when you just sit still. And just like, for me, like, I love lying on my bed because of my window and the sun setting. Like now at this time of day, the light is so beautiful and it's catching all the trees and the leaves and everything. Just watching the changing of light, watching wind in the trees. Like, we've lost a lot of that
Mhm.
connection. Even when we're sick, instead of just allowing the body to get well,
Yeah.
it's like, oh no, I'm going to sit up in bed and work. Like this constant
Constant
push to be
to keep
doing.
on going. And I think that a lot of that also is because we look outside of ourselves and we don't know the formula of who we are. Because not everybody has to push in order to create what
Mm,
they want. Not everybody is designed to burn the candle at both ends.
yeah.
There's a also, like, just when I flip through my reels and my TikTok, I'm always looking for inspirational people.
Mm, mm,
And then you think you found an inspirational person, and then you get into like a couple of videos in, and then that messaging starts of, in order to be successful, you have to be, and then it goes into this overdrive push. And I have caught myself, like, I don't follow someone straight away anymore. I'll actually watch for quite a bit of time. There's an
mm,
incredible guy that he's got a Dubai media agency based in Dubai. He must be mid 30s. Um, and I really, really like him. I really like him because he does such incredible things. He's driven, right? He's extremely driven. He wakes up at 5 a.m. He puts his face in a bowl of ice at like 5:15 in the morning. But he shares what he does, but then he asks his team such beautiful things, like, if you were CEO for the day, what would you do?
okay.
And, if this is my morning routine, what's your morning routine? And he's allowing people to be heard, and he's not correcting anybody else's version of themselves. He's really
Mm,
not, which I absolutely love. We're so much, we've got to unprogram ourselves that there is a right way. There is not a right way.
mm,
There's the
mm,
way that works for you. There's the way that best suits you. There's the way that kicks you into your most authentic version of yourself.
Yeah, and I think that I think that's why so many people end up feeling like they failed or they're less than. I saw a beautiful blog once about someone who said, I don't know if it's I love a mundane life or I have a mundane life. And she said, like, in other people's eyes, I live a mundane life. Like, I raise my children. I think they were on the farm. So I go and I feed the chickens, and she used the word mundane. And in many people's eyes, I guess it would be
Yeah.
mundane, but we're not all meant to be hustling and having our own business and, doing. Sometimes if a mundane life brings you joy, it brings you peace, then that's fine. I mean, my most favorite day is a Sunday when I'm home most Sundays, and I potter around my house. I do the washing, change the bed linen. I love hanging up the washing. Like, it's so
Mm,
simple, and it just brings me this sense of peace. And yeah, I think social media has really created quite a, I know we speak about toxic positivity, this constant, but I think there is also this toxic, like, hustle and, do more and, embrace every hour kind of thing. And it's like, no, I think that's why there's so much
mm,
going on in the mental health,
mm.
people's mental health, this depression. People are just like, they end up feeling like they're not doing enough or they're not being enough. And I just think
There's such
that's
an
so
overdrive.
sad. Yeah, that's so sad.
I'm sure my baby sister will be absolutely fine that I speak about her. We Her and I are so different, but so close. And it's actually really important to understand. Her and her hubby have, I mean, they're going to stay in their same jobs for the rest of their lives. They love what they do. It
Mm,
is simple. It's really and truly simple. Their weekends are everything about what they do is simple. And I am
mm,
the extreme opposite. I am like so driven. As soon as I get to one point, I'm trying to get to the next point. The vision that I have for myself is absolutely, absolutely massive, right?
mm,
And
mm,
when we get together, and we actually grew up in quite a competitive environment as siblings. There's five of us, and around the dinner table, it was kind of like who did better,
mm.
who got parents' attention. There was a lot of that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. But when we get together, we have such beautiful commonality, and the commonality is actually the downtime. The commonality
okay.
is rewatching Pretty Woman for the 27th time, or
Mm,
watching, my brother-in-law is a Liverpool fan like you cannot believe. Formula One in this house is such a big thing. We're around the table, everyone brings something, we share food, that kind of
mm,
thing.
mm, mm,
And we don't actually ever talk about the hustle. I've got some acquaintances or people that I spend time with, and when we're together, I can feel my esteem. I can feel my esteem getting edgy
mm.
because the conversation is so driven about where are you? What's happening? How's life? This is what's happening in my life. We actually need to gift ourselves with people around us where we appreciate that downtime, where it's just easy. It's so important to have a couple of people around you where it's just easy, and you don't have to have a fortune in common.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the what it's like getting unstuck from being driven all the time. Like, you can't sustain that. I've had two conversations today around grief, and both of them, said to me, like, what's your advice to people who are grieving? And I said, it's just the only advice I can give you is it's make time and space for
Yeah.
grief. Just stop. It's not about getting over it or rush, you can't get over it, but it's making the time and the space. The problem is that when you do that, other people get uncomfortable. So you don't. You just like internalize it and carry on. And it's like, can we just acknowledge that we need to slow down? It's beginning to feel like we're on hamsters on a treadmill, and sooner or later, when it goes faster and faster, and then everything just
Yeah.
flips off because
Yeah.
it's just in overdrive and it's too fast. It's really, for me, beginning to feel like that, and I'm trying to, and maybe that's what the laptop was about, because I would have worked. So last weekend in South Africa was technically our last long weekend for a while. I probably would have worked the whole weekend, and I just, that it was taken away from me. Was it
Yep.
intentional? I don't know, but it really made me stop and think about this dependency. Like, why am I so panicked over a device?
Yeah.
Because so much of what I do is is tied up in me. So it tied up in that. So it was really like, it really made me stop and think about how much, where else am I pushing myself all the time instead of allowing things, life, to unfold. And I've had the same thoughts now, even around the work that I do. Am I pushing too hard and things are not happening? Um, and
Yeah.
maybe I just need to take a step back and go, okay, let's just see what shows
What?
up.
Yeah. Wait to respond to life, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Wait to respond to life. So many times, my big sister and my business partner, we'll chat, and then I'll say I have a deadline, and they both have the same question: is it a self-inflicted deadline? Like, who is waiting for what you have created as a deadline?
Yeah.
And most of the time, I mean, everything that I have is set up in templates. I'm so organized. I can pull anything together.
Mm,
Um, and actually, a lot of those deadlines are self-inflicted. No one's waiting. No one's waiting. The stuff that
mm,
people are waiting for, what a client is waiting for, that is totally different to these self-inflicted deadlines that we put on ourselves. It's almost like, do you how would you feel about yourself if you're not watching yourself in motion?
yeah, that's a good question.
You know,
That's a good question.
if you just do nothing. And one of the things that I always say to my clients, because we talk about stuff like this often in different degrees, is Big Brother is not watching. No one knows. No one knows. If you are alone in your own space and you decide that you're going to fake a meeting, book out an hour in your calendar and go and take a nap in the middle of the day, no one knows. And we don't gift ourselves with enough of that.
Mm,
Just,
yeah, yeah.
like, s- give yourself a little bit of a gift. And the greatest gift that we can give ourselves is to calm our nervous systems down. I know that we spoke about it the last time, but it is so important to calm our nervous system
Mm,
down. And the
yeah.
only way to calm you can't. This is why affirmations, the majority of affirmations don't work, is because people are saying affirmations in a space of distress or anxiety or anticipation for the affirmation to become reality.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a push, you can feel there's a push behind, like, this has to happen now. So, I'm saying it, so it has to be, and it has to happen. There's a desperation that creeps in. And then you've moved completely away from just
Mhm.
allowing and surrendering and going, well, it is what it is at the moment. And
Yeah.
funnily enough, even with the laptop, I mean, the company that I'm involved with in the UK bringing their work here, her first question was, can we send you a laptop? And I was like, no, we're not there yet, but thank you. Like, just out of the blue. And I was like, I'll let you know, because I will get one from them but purely for their work. But that was her immediate, like, can we send you one? And I was just so blown away by that. Um, so
That's another whole beautiful conversation, Di, is so much of the time we are focusing on all the things that are wrong. But I don't know if everyone knows, I don't speak about it often enough, but I'm a big country music fan. I love country music. And it's like somewhere in my roots, it's very special. But I'm someone who listens to words. Like, words for me are in
mm,
every single song, and that's why I can jump between genres if the words get me. And there's such a beautiful song by a singer. His name's Luke Bryan, and he in one of his songs he says most people are good. And in it he actually says the stories that we fed and everything that's on the news and what's happening to us paints a picture that we are living in chaos, and there is so much unkindness and there is so much
yeah,
cruelty, and there absolutely, absolutely is. But most people are good. For someone to
yeah,
your IT guys to say, here's a laptop sorted for now, for someone else to say, if you need a laptop, it's on its way.
mm,
It's
yeah,
that's a big thing to get unstuck from, this perception that the bad overshadows the good. As
yeah,
long, as soon as my nephews and I could like bond, we started to bond over Marvel, like we really did. So there's a big Marvel fandom in this house. And even when it's been really, really, distressing and the superheroes have, not survived certain things, that's one thing I've always instilled in them. Maybe not now, but good wins in the
mm,
end. Maybe not now, and we have to watch more unfolding of stuff. It's so important to hold on to that. I I don't know how to not hold on to that.
yeah. That's a beautiful reminder. I remember watching what's in it, Esther Abram Hicks. She did a channeling, and he said something once. I was watching a DVD, and he said, if all the good news of the world was on TV, the bad news would be a blip across the screen, and then
Yeah.
it would be gone. Because
The
there are way more good people doing good things than there are bad people doing bad things. But we are only fed the
yeah.
bad. Um,
And energy is an algorithm. Energy is an algorithm. So a way an algorithm
mm,
works is this exact same way that our energy works. So change your literal algorithm. Change the algorithm on your social media. My social media is filled with birds, cats, the
mm,
most, just the sweetest family, beautiful, beautiful stories, creative minds. There's things that make me giggle, and then all of a sudden I have really bright minds. I look at people who are thinking outside the box. I'm not listening to anyone who's trying to tell me how to run my business, who's trying to tell me
mm,
how to manage my life, how to manage what I eat, how I exercise. I don't listen to any of those people.
mm, mm.
So we've actually got to change our physical algorithm in order to change our energetic algorithm. It's so
Yeah,
important.
and that takes it takes being present again. You see, everything comes back to us. It takes awareness, and it
Yeah.
takes discipline to go, I don't want this on
Mm,
my timeline. I'm going to hide this. I'm going to
mm.
move, I'm not going to watch this. It takes effort.
And stop the scrolling and pay more attention. So instead of just swiping past it, actually say, I'm not interested in this.
Mm.
like
Don't, yeah,
energetically make a stand and say, I am not interested in watching something
yeah,
like this.
yeah.
And watch your algorithm change. And then your whole system changes. I mean, I wake up, majority of people wake up and they open up and they're watching the news first, right? They're seeing what's
Yes.
happening in the news first. It's a big thing to do that. I wake up, my immediate scroll is I follow someone who has a bird bath. Die. Like these and it's then they are saying the type of bird. So I'm learning about birds and they're
Mm,
describing different things. I watch all of those different kind of things. I watch and I have a little boy who cooks. He's this British little kid. He is just the cutest little thing. I I cannot tell you how gorgeous, and he cooks. It's so simple. Do I learn anything from it? No. Does it literally make me smile? His dad's in the
mm,
background, like, passing him little things, and he's gorgeous. And that's how I'm starting my day, and
mm.
it's absolutely from choice. And something that's very important is that I know what's happening in the world. I don't not watch the news,
Yeah, yeah.
but I get my news from a particular place. I see what's happening in the world, and then I am very, very conscious of that this energy. It's actually become quite a thing for me now. This
Okay,
algorithm is very important.
okay.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
let's see. Maybe someone will pop us a message in a couple of weeks and say, I changed my algorithm and it
Rhythm,
changed my life.
yes. Yeah, because it is being conscious. Like, I'm not going to go down that road, you know. I mean, my favorite is these compilations of cats and dogs doing goofy things. I mean, I
Yeah,
love it. It just warms my heart to see
completely.
animals, being loving or being crazy or being goofy or whatever. I love it.
Yeah.
And of course, the more you watch it, the more the more it gives you.
It filters.
Um, yeah. But it really has been a really interesting week in terms of that, like this awareness of, like, just slow down.
Yeah.
It will sort itself out. I think it will be fine. As catastrophic as it seemed at the time, it will
Yeah.
be fine. Whatever the outcome is, it'll be fine. So, yeah.
We such an important thing to know that you are strong enough to also make it fine.
Yeah.
You do have
Yeah.
all of the resources
Mm.
within you to get yourself through whatever it may be.
Mm. Yeah. And I think also sharing it, just sending you that tearful WhatsApp voice
Yeah,
note going, oh my God, I don't know what to do. But just verbalizing it to someone who could receive it
yeah,
without telling me, calm down. I
absolutely.
didn't feel calm in that moment, and I needed to verbalize it, and I
Yeah,
needed to have a little cry. And then it was like,
completely.
okay, right, let's see what the next step is. So having people who can receive it when you are feeling like that is
Yeah.
also really, really important. And it's just to verbalize it. You can't fix it. I don't want
No.
you to fix it. I just needed someone to receive this overwhelming these emotions that hit me at that time when I
Yeah.
thought that everything was sorted.
That's actually a beautiful bond that we have, is that we actually never try to fix each other's stuff. I wouldn't have even thought of trying to find a
Yeah.
solution for you. It doesn't even enter my mind. So,
No.
if you ever want a solution from me, you actually need to ask, because otherwise it's not
Yeah.
coming.
But I
Yeah.
think that's an important point, because I think sometimes people do shy away from having a conversation with someone who is struggling because they think, oh, I can't fix it for this person. It's not your job
Mm.
to fix it.
Yeah.
It's just to go, I hear you. I'm sorry this is happening to you. I'm sending you the biggest hug.
Yeah.
Um, and that's it. It's enough. You
It
don't have
absolutely
to
is.
fix it. You know, it's not what's asked
Yeah.
for when someone reaches out, unless they specifically say, "Tell me what to do."
Yes. And
Um,
also then sometimes when they say, "Tell me what to do," because if I say to my business partner, "Tell me what to do," he will literally say to me, that is a low self-esteem question.
yeah,
So sometimes even in that "tell me what to do," you kind of got to, you just got to check
yeah,
the esteem of you just got to check in with your esteem the whole time.
yeah,
Yeah.
and know that
Yeah.
in you, deep in you, the answers
Yeah.
are there, the solutions are there. It's
Yeah.
just to be still so
Yeah.
that you can hear them.
Absolutely. This was a beautiful one, Di. Really, it was.
Yeah, it's been lovely.
Good.
Right.
And with that, we say goodbye.
We will see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye.